Can't do wine again, Aaron. Can't do it.
Aaron almost just spills his entire glass of wine all over the table.
This was Alex's idea, for the record.
It is. What's up, everybody? This is episode 2 of the APA podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Alex, alongside Era and Sarah. This is the podcast where we take 4 topics for your amusement and discuss it over the next hour. How's it going, guys?
It's going good.
Yeah. Doing good?
I got food, I got a nap in, and I got some sunshine.
How much did you sleep?
I have no idea how long was I asleep for.
It was like a long time. Like
Was
3
it really?
hours.
We should have
It's
taken
like
a
4
picture.
p.m. right now. It's not 4 p.m. Don't worry.
I think like 20 minutes.
It was more than 20 minutes.
We were gone for like, I think, a good
hour.
45 minutes, an hour. Yeah. Because we went to the restaurant, we sat down, and we ate, and then we got you a to-go
Dude,
box.
I was just snuggled up with Winston and like ready to go.
I saw that. I did not know what I should do. It was like very, very like I can't do anything about disrupting this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Aaron and I had amazing Indian food though.
We did. It was pretty good. The
was
butter
pretty
chicken, on point. Naan, on point.
On point. The sog, my favorite.
Guys, I think we should just, this is no longer a video game podcast. We're just going to talk about food.
Food.
All right, new
Food
podcast,
Kinda
guys.
should be. I'm
It's a wrap. That's a
completely
wrap.
okay.
It's done.
Should we go to Taco Bell?
Taco. They're opening one down my street next
Is
to
it
El
a
Pollo Loco.
cantina or is it just a normal Taco Bell?
I am not sure, but it's next to an El Pollo Loco. So I don't know if El Pollo Loco now cease to be now that
Dude,
a
they're
Taco
gonna have
Bell.
like a war.
Did I tell you that we had a night where we got both El Pollo Loco and Chick-fil-A, and we compared the two in terms
And
of chicken?
how is that?
Who
People were
wins?
wrong in my house, but the winner in my mind was Chick-fil-A. They have the best chicken.
I've heard that from a lot of people actually. I have never been to Chick-fil-A personally.
But I mean, if you wanted like just like fried chicken, El Pollo Loco, I guess is what
I heard
you
it's
go.
like super
Grill.
moist. Like
It's
El
pretty
Pollo
moist.
Loco.
It's moist.
It is like you bite into it and you feel all the juices just running. It's good. The
All
spices.
the juice is running.
This is what moist is, right? If
Yeah.
you were to describe moist in chicken, would you say just juices, right?
Yeah, that's
moist.
fair.
It's moist.
All right.
We occasionally talk about video games. We did some gaming. If you've been following Sarah's stream, we've been playing a lot of H1Z1 Battlegrounds, but we're not going to be talking about it. That was last week's episode. Go check that out. We talked about H1Z and Battlegrounds for a good 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did win on Sarah's stream for Battlegrounds.
You guys have won both H1Z1 and Battlegrounds now.
Did you win H1Z1?
Yeah. You won in
Oh, yeah.
duos with
Yeah. Who was I playing with?
Not us.
Not me.
I won with someone. Did I? I did.
Come on, think. Get into your zen out.
Was it Carl?
I don't know.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I thought you got to win.
We apologize for that. If you're in the chat and you're watching this, she still appreciates that W.
All right. Let's talk about Zelda. I want to talk about Zelda.
A game that we have been playing, but you've just
I just
recently
got
got.
it.
It's been
I
out
just
for a
got
while.
it. It's been out for a month. Come Monday.
I have not played it enough.
Okay, so I guess the first thing is how many hours do you think you sunk into it?
So the first, I took the Friday off work when I got it, and then played through the most of that weekend. I think I've probably put it. How many hours have you put in actually for reference?
Well, first of all, I want to say there's like no way on the Switch to see how long you've played the
It's
game.
a little upsetting.
It's I want to brag to my friends like how long I've played it, but so
I
okay,
don't know if that's bragging.
it's bragging. It's a thing to be proud of. How much time you wasted in a game.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that I've probably put in about 15 hours right now.
Okay, so if you
I've put in far more.
Do you
than
say
Yeah, you
that.
had the game for 2 weeks longer than I have.
I've put in
Well,
an
I haven't
hour.
been. I have
that's
not
right.
touched it in the past 2 weeks. I think the first weekend I think I put in easily like 30 to 40.
30 to 40?
Yeah.
And if you had to do a percentage of how far into it you think you are.
Oh, not far at all. 40%.
So okay, well let's be clear on percentages.
How many
What are
divine
we
beasts have you killed?
I'm 2 in,
How
but
many divine
I've
beasts
done
have
a
you
decent
killed?
chunk of side quests.
Yeah, so I've done one divine beast, and on the second divine beast, I've got all the terminals. My game is in the other room,
Spoilers.
and I'm like waiting to do the end part of a divine beast. I don't want to go into details of what happens, but there's basically 4 dungeons. They're called divine beasts, and that's kind of how the game is broken down. You don't have to do them in any specific order, which is nice.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to do them. You can play the whole game just wandering around like Grand Theft Auto style and just doing whatever you want.
There's so many side quests in that game. It's magical.
I did the side quest where you have to collect the 10 cuckoos or cuckoos.
The chickens?
The chickens.
Yeah.
It's a good quest.
For me, I'm only an hour in, and I'm playing it exclusively on handheld because that's just why I want to do it.
That makes me so sad.
Oh,
It's
so
such a pretty.
it's fine.
Literally, the opening scene where you walk out of the Resurrection
That's great.
Shrine and you walk out and you see the map. That on my big screen, I almost cried.
I feel like a lot of people did,
I almost
but
cried.
I still liked it.
That's
So
I still liked it. I have a 4K
me-
TV, and that's not going to look good.
that's
Yeah,
true.
it's
That's fair.
bad.
That's fair.
It's going to look bad. But so, okay, I started it up, played it. I do not like the Zelda voice actress, by the way.
Really?
I wish I could play it in Japanese.
What? I like it. I do
Oh,
like
okay.
Alex,
it.
that is the
Hopefully
most
she was better.
weeaboo thing you have ever said.
That's fine.
You're like the least weeaboo person I know.
My Weeaboo Warriors.
I wish I could play it in the true Japanese.
I wish I could. It'd be so
Alex,
good.
you should go take Japanese lessons so you could.
I almost did in high school, and then I realized that I was
you
not.
Maybe you're a
You
closet
would.
otaku. Like,
Dude, I watched a lot of anime when I was really young, but that's for another podcast.
do you think
can-
people would just understand you better in Japan?
I think so. I don't
Wow.
know. Maybe.
Are you leaving us soon? Can I move into this home? Can you leave?
Can't tell my brother.
Okay.
You can live in the closet. It's a pretty big closet.
Yeah.
I have a Harry Potter closet.
fairly
But
large.
anyway, for Zelda, I booted up. The graphics were like okay, but it was nice to be back in that world. I felt that getting back into it for the hour that I did was really refreshing. I've been playing Horizon on the side, and I don't want to compare them. They're both good games in their own right, and they both do things in their own way well. The first thing I did was I was very curious that if I could climb everything, and I got all the apples, man.
All the apples.
I love the art style. The art style is really nice. It's a nice blend of Skyward Sword.
It's
and
a
Wind Waker.
it's a
and
beautiful game.
It's really good. The art direction is really good.
Yeah. I'm really impressed.
Go ahead.
I was also going to comment on like the soundtrack. I was quite nervous about coming, at least when I saw the first trailer that they released for it. I was not impressed by the music they chose to put in it. But playing through with the art style and then the music, I think it actually worked out quite well.
What I noticed with the music is what I've also read is that they don't do enough music. It's a lot of just atmospheric, but when the music hits, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's like a climax. So the only times I've heard music is when I leave the beginning and when I engage in my first tower. And what a tower is very like you climb
the
up it.
Guardians?
Yeah. No, a tower. One of the Sheikah
okay,
towers. And what
gotcha.
that is basically it's very similar to if you played Assassin's Creed or anything. You go to the top and it unveils the whole location and basically says the fog of war is gone.
Yep.
And it had like a nice music to it. The combat, even though it was a different take, it felt Zelda in its own right.
Yeah.
The enemies, they were cool. I mean,
They're hard.
They're
So
hard.
the game, like, let's
Yeah.
talk about that. Does
Yeah.
the game feel substantially harder than other Zelda games? Because for me, 100%,
So-
yes.
You guys know this is my first Zelda game, right? Mm-hmm. So,
It's okay.
it's
okay.
Can I give you my GameCube to play Wind Waker
So
on?
No,
played
Virtual Console
I've
coming
played
out.
a couple hours of Wind
Virtual
Waker, and
Console?
I will play it on Virtual Console
Yeah.
after this. I think, for sure.
It's gonna going from Breath of the Wild to Wind Waker is obviously not gonna be satisfying,
Right.
but like that was like the first game that I like had a love for. And the art in that game is phenomenal.
The combat is like Dark Soulish, where everything breaks.
Right.
I didn't mind. I haven't minded it yet. In the hour I played, it's been kind of annoying that something breaks. I would just pick it up, and it's fine. I've heard that it gets kind of annoying when you get like
Yeah.
good quality items.
You like don't want to use it 'cause
Yes.
you don't want to break
Is there a
it.
way
It's
I
not
can?
fun.
I haven't like dug to because usually I kind of like, entangle myself in how everything works. Is there a durability counter on those weapons?
No, but
Without
there
it
are
telling me.
indicators. So there's an indicator when something is brand new and untouched, and there's an indicator when it's getting close to being, it's like damaged or whatever.
What's the indicator? Because all it
It'll be
tells me
like
is that
red.
it's badly damaged.
Yeah, red. It'll
Yeah,
flash right in your
okay. That's
inventory
it.
if it's badly damaged. And then what's the one if it's like brand new? It has like a diamond next to it, or
I don't, it's been a while.
It's been a
Yeah.
minute.
been a while.
But other than that, like I felt it was cool that it was not just me with my Kokari sword or eventually my Master Sword, which I heard the Master Sword's later, and I hope to God it doesn't break. That'll be hilarious. I doubt it will.
Yeah. No.
yeah.
But it was cool, like to see Link just with like a battle axe or something. It's different. I can only
Yeah.
imagine in what they're gonna do in Smash Brothers this time around when they give Link everything in the world. I wish I could map my buttons better. Like the only option I could get is to switch my jump from X to B, and for those who don't know, it goes Y.
It is a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
I would say that. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, it goes
It's
Y
just how-
X A B. So usually you're meant to. Their jump button is
Yeah.
the one closest to your body, and it's not. And you can flip it between X and B. And also, I don't like how I can't just press down on my left thumbstick and dash. Like I wish I
Yeah.
could, because like in first-person shooters and in most, like in Horizon, I press down and I will dash
Yeah.
on my left thumbstick. I have to press X and hold it, and he'll start sprinting. And then I get this. I've had moments where I was fighting a couple people, and I crouched instead of ran because I'm
I've
still
done- I've
retraining
done
my
that.
body.
I've done
I mean,
that
you
too
get
as
used to it.
well.
When I first started the game, I was throwing every weapon I had.
I
I'd
did.
get in the
Yeah,
battle,
still
and I would
do
just be
it.
like, my sword, there you go. And like, it took me several hours to get used to it. But
Yeah.
once I did, it was, I mean, it's worth not remapping your buttons and just teach yourself.
So you didn't switch your
No,
jump?
I just,
Interesting.
I kept
suffered
it.
through.
Yeah, if you just play it through, it'll get better.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I
what
don't mind with the jump. Go ahead.
is your favorite part of the game so far? I know you played for an hour. So
So my biggest concern was after playing a lot of Horizon, I was going to get open world fatigue, and I definitely didn't feel that when I popped in Breath of the Wild. I immediately was like, okay, I'm down. Like I am down for this adventure.
Right.
I knew it was an open world game going into it. The nostalgia, I waited a month to play it to see if the nostalgia would just kind of go away once you two stopped getting hype and the internet was just like, okay, it's a Zelda game.
Still hype.
still hype.
I didn't get open world fatigue. Like I could see myself playing both the games at the same time and not feeling that I'm going to be tired of the open world thing. Maybe after they're
Right.
both done, I'll be like, I'm good and just stay away from it a little bit. But I felt excited to still play. So I think that's a great quality is that I could still be playing another open world game and not feel that I can't do both. And Zelda is its own experience and it's bringing it's refreshing because it's the whole experience is refreshing.
Aaron, feelings?
I'm totally enthralled with it. So I got the Switch because I was excited to play mobile on the train. Like I have an hour each way commute. And I sit on the train and I play Zelda, and it makes the commute feel like I'm just teleporting to work. It is so fun. I'm so involved, and I like look down, like do one shrine and look up, and I'm like, oh, it's my stop in like 3 stops. And I really like that. I think it's a nice game where they've broken things down into little bite-sized chunks, and because there's no like linearity to it, you can decide, oh, I've got like 15 minutes to play. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go run to this village real quick and stock up on arrows and like check out the armor, and like that's like enough to play for like 15 minutes.
For real quick, and maybe you both can answer this. I feel like the Great Plateau, which is the opening area, that's the most linear the game is because I'm kind of restrained in that area.
Right.
There's still some like you can kind of do things in what order you want to do
Yeah.
them in, but yeah, it's like really restrained.
And then after
It's-
that, it opens up.
yeah.
So let me. I don't want to spoil it too much.
Direct
but
you one particular area, but then after
Yeah.
that, it's like the world is your oyster.
So
there will never be like a wall where like you reach somewhere and it's like that's not true. There's one section, I don't want to talk about that, but so there's very rarely any place where you can't go somewhere because you haven't gone far enough in the game yet. But what there is they put natural in-game mechanic stuff where like, okay, maybe you don't have good enough weapons to get past these guys on a bridge, and this bridge is the only way to get across.
Or
this
maybe
chasm.
like this mountain is too high and your stamina is not high enough
Right.
to be able to climb all the way up it.
So I'm going to put whatever I can choose to upgrade anything, I'm going to put it on stamina first. I'm not going to worry about hearts.
That's fair.
Get
What are
hearts.
the Kokari seeds? I
You'll
ran
notice
into
this,
one.
Well, you'll notice this too.
shoot.
So I haven't found out a use for those personally yet. I just haven't come
really?
across a spot, but I have a ton. Actually, I think I know what I do think I know what you use them for, and I think it's for upgrading your clothing.
Okay.
The Kokari seeds?
I think so.
No. Have you not interacted with the Jolly Tree Man yet?
No.
So you trade those seeds into
Oh,
expanding
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Inventory
I take that
slots.
back. I have.
for weapons.
Because I ran
He's
into
just hard
one.
to find.
Yeah.
I was gonna comment on something else, but I forgot.
Well, you're the resident Zelda person, and you haven't spoken. You've only heard Aaron and I talk about it. So unload us
And she's
your.
played the most.
Yeah, and you played the most. I'm gonna listen. I ran out of wine, but I'll listen.
I don't know what part to even start on commentating.
Well,
I mean, I love
what-
the game.
okay,
let's talk,
It's super fun to play.
Yeah. What?
Let's
Yeah.
talk Rito outfit real quick.
What?
Oh, so on
What?
point.
What?
So like you'll
Ryu's outfit.
Rito.
So I don't know if you started to notice this yet, but in the beginning on the Great Plateau, it does force you into certain areas that you can't environmentally wise handle very well. So
Like
with-
weather.
Yeah. So
Okay.
with that, there's a couple ways to overcome it. One is having clothing, certain types of clothing, and then the other is, as we know, like making dishes to help you withstand whatever it is you're going into.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a point in the game where you can get a Rito outfit, which helps in the cold. And it is just real cool. There's some good outfits in the game, is what I'll
Yeah.
say. And it basically will adjust your ability to withstand, extreme cold or extreme hot, whatever it may be.
Right.
And I think that's really cool. I also really like, which is feels very different from other games is with getting your hearts and your life back, it's through these like cooking of dishes. So I think something that a lot of people have noticed, and I definitely noticed it, is that this game is really hard. Like I've had enemies one-shot me like often, super often. And the more you go in the game, the harder they hit, it feels like. So it's really cool to be able to, one, make meals that have special effects, you know, if it's going to up your stamina, if it's going to up your defense, what it may be. But you can also just like pause these while you're fighting these really hard, you know, enemies and up yourself, which it makes it more doable. Because at first it was a little bit frustrating figuring out how to balance that because it's so strong. And getting one shot in a Zelda game is not a normal feeling by any means.
It has that Skyrim effect where like you're fighting and then you get hit and you lose half your health and you're like, pause, let me eat like 6 wheels of cheese real quick.
No, let's be honest, it's going to be apples. You eat all the apples.
So I have a lot of baked apples.
Steamed fruit.
This is all about the apples.
So I actually ran into that situation, and it's not a spoiler at all, is I ran into this book that said if I find a recipe to make this really hot dish, if I find the missing recipe, I'll get a warm, is it doublet? Doublet, are you sure?
It's a shirt. Doublet's a shirt, yeah.
So I already I love how Zelda still does it, where it's like, if you don't read anything, but there'll be something highlighted in red that's important. So I've come across that I'm going to start getting new clothes. Does clothes have durability or just weapons?
No. Clothes do not have durability.
Okay.
Weapons and shields and bows.
I don't want to hijack. Keep going. And I'll tell you
keep
one
going.
thing.
No,
Go.
I don't know what else I was going to
No,
say.
I just want you to tell. I just want to hear your review. It's been like
it's
40
good.
hours.
I love the game. I think it's really fun to play. It's really easy to play. It's one of those things that I can sit down and play it for like 5 hours, which I've definitely for like 8 hours at a time. You can also jump in for like half an hour, like you said, and it's still like very fun to play through it. Its art style, I think, is beautiful. The music, I think, is also beautiful.
I like the story so far.
The story, I think, is good.
It's just good. It's a good story.
Good.
Have you ever been blown away from a Zelda story? I don't think I have. I think I've enjoyed. I think I enjoyed Majora's Mask the most because it was dark. I really like the dark influence on it. I don't know anything about Breath of the Wild. It seems like it's supposed to be like the first Zelda in the timeline. That's what it looks like from just being in the first hour of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know why you don't like the voice actress, the voice.
I just think she just sounds terrible.
It's fine.
Because there was a moment. There was a moment that I was watching.
I really love her.
There was a moment I was watching the stream like a couple weeks ago, and I saw a scene where she was in it, and she was like really trying to be serious. And I don't know if you guys are there at that point, and that I was just like, that's cringe. That was just super cringe.
So what I will say is I haven't played Zelda games, but I recognize this is the
first time.
The first time they've had voice actors. Not the first time. Sorry, there's another game where they have voice actors. It's that weird like Camelot one or.
What? Oh, this is really old, but
old.
It's super.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
It's like NES or something like that.
But yeah, no, this is the first one that has Zelda has like a voiceover. There's some voice acting.
Main story characters have voiceovers, but it's like other Zelda games where other characters just sort of go, huh? What?
That's great though.
I like that. It's great because I'm just skipping all the dialogue
grunting.
Anyway.
I mean, I think everyone's been there where the voice acting in the English version,
yeah, whisper it to him,
sounds significantly worse to some people than the Japanese. Like, and it's just because sometimes when they port them over, it's an afterthought. It's, I'm trying to think of a game that I played.
I mean, they knew they were going to sell more units in America than Japan. It's not an afterthought for sure.
There's just better voice actors for me. I mean, you guys like it. I mean, that's okay that you guys like it and I may not. It's just it is how it is. I don't like how. So when I played Horizon, and I really like how they do the combat in Horizon where
Zero Dawn
is that it's the same idea how on Zelda you use the D-pad you press the D-pad left and right, and then you can cycle through your weapons with the right stick. What Horizon does, I press the left one button and then a wheel pops up and it slows down the game, and I can quick between my weapons really quickly.
But the gameplay's still going in the background.
It's still smooth and whatever. The biggest thing I didn't like about Zelda so far is the idea that when I switch between weapons, it doesn't feel fluid at all. It stops the game, and I have to scroll through this thing that shows like 5 different of the same weapon. I wish I could. I mean, I guess it doesn't work in that way because in Horizon nothing breaks, and I have that wheel. But I think they could have done it better. I think they could have done the weapon changing better. I've accidentally shot a fire arrow when I wish I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Always.
Because
yeah.
and I'm just like, I get 5 of these. Now I have 4. I don't know. It truly makes me feel that this Breath of the Wild game was truly meant for the Wii U with just how that interface is, that the screen at the bottom was going to help you select everything and it wouldn't be a selecting function on the Switch.
Right.
Like I felt like you could see that it was a port that they last minute said, hey, we're going to put on the Switch.
Well,
and they were going to use that
originally-
small screen to help with inventory.
It was originally
management.
in development for the Wii U.
Yeah.
And it just was in development for so long.
That they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I truly see where the Wii U side of the inventory would be on that small thing when you played on the screen.
Right.
Because I think, is the Wii U Touch the screen?
I don't
I don't know. I don't have
I
one.
think it's,
You have one.
I have
You're the
one.
only one that has
It's-
one.
so
The
you
only
should know the
person on the
answer.
planet that has it.
literal only person.
I think it's a touch. I mean, people in chat may know if it's a touch screen or not. But
So
that's my biggest gripe is just the selection of weapons. I'm okay with the durability breaking. It kind of sucks if you find a really nice weapon, but
it's
it
a non-fun
is what it is.
game mechanic.
It's not a fun game mechanic.
It would be too easy if
It
it
forces you
didn't.
to cycle through weapons. But what I don't like is that I feel like I have like this stash of like my good weapons that I'm saving for a rainy day, and they
Yeah.
just
And may never
clog my
happen.
inventory, and I'm just recycling through like 3 or 4 like
Yeah,
vocal goblin
there's gonna get to
clones
points
and-
where you literally do not have you're gonna go through like almost every single one of your weapons.
A great way they would have done is they could have put a durability counter on it, and you could repair it at like a blacksmith or something. Like, and then if you don't repair it, you can't use it. It's 0 out of 10, doesn't break. You have to go repair it. You have to stop whatever you're doing instead of. I agree with Aaron having like 12 different broadswords,
Right.
and you have that moment where you get this like mentality of I'm like, for me, I can speak personally. Like if I have something really nice, I will hold on to that son of a gun because I'm like, I don't want this to break on like a random minion, and then I just may never use it because I forget about it.
But I think that opinion will change slightly as you get further into the game
Yeah, tell me why that opinion will change.
because you're gonna get forced to use them at certain points.
Okay.
And you're gonna get a larger variety of weapons, so it's not gonna be like you have 7 broadswords. It's gonna be
Right.
like every single weapon you have is different.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
and
true.
has a different function. So I mean, there's so many weapons, so many more weapons in the game that I think that
Yeah.
breaking function is helpful. And that like if they had all the weapons that they had and you could hold on to them, I don't think it would be as utilized or as I don't know, kind of like you have to be more strategic with them, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I can respect that opinion.
So, and I just want to
Yeah.
mentally prepare you. Like, if you're upset about losing weapons now, as I was, wait till you get the boomerang because there is.
I heard you have to
nothing-
catch it.
You do have to catch it, and it's not that hard actually. You get used to catching it, but sometimes you throw it and like it hits something and it just falls off a cliff, and you're just like,
Oh,
My new favorite thing is
God.
when just throwing things off cliffs when I don't want to deal with them, like enemies. Just
Yeah.
get them off the cliff.
So
Whoop.
I noticed this in Splatoon when I played the beta for a week ago, that the aiming was with my Switch, and I immediately, when I was in the first shrine, I did not know that was on, and I turned it off immediately.
Yeah, it's really
I do
annoying.
not want
So
you to force that
it's
on me
really
ever.
annoying.
I've left it on.
Jesus Christ.
So
Mine's on too. I just get really mad whenever it works.
I feel like if I want to go really precise with the bow, it helps. I use the stick to aim, but then I go really precise for the final like headshot from range, and I've gotten pretty good with that. What sucks though is when I'm on the train and the train's like turning, it picks up the accelerometer of like the train turning, and it's like drifting my aim, and I'm like, no.
I noticed that when I was on a plane playing as well.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. I also cranked up the sensitivity to extremely high because it was too slow for me.
It is a little slow, yeah.
Like I
look
felt
camera.
like the moving when I had the little magnet thing and I was grabbing onto like something to
That's
move
fair,
around. I
yeah.
was like, this is really slow. Like, why is this so slow? And then I realized it was on. I just play really high sensitivity, like you guys know. I just can't
Yeah.
do slow.
So to close out our Zelda discussion, I want to talk about the reviews for Zelda. So they've been, I think, Metacritic's like 96, 97,
Overwhelmingly
98
positive.
out of 100. And it puts it up there with like the games that it's sitting up there with reviews right now are like Grand Theft Auto 5, Halo Combat Evolved,
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time is up there at the top.
Last of Us.
I think
Last
it's
of Us-
sitting at a hot second behind.
Last of Us is
Ocarina
up
of
there.
Time.
I'm going to look this up. Last of
Yeah.
Us, I believe, is up there.
If you look at Metacritic, like top games of all time,
It's
Last
number
of Us
2.
is probably up there,
It should
yeah.
be, I think it's number 2.
Last of Us is?
No,
No,
Breath of the
Breath of the
Wild.
Wild is number 2.
I don't think it is. I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is ahead of it.
Of Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, it dropped down a little bit. I think there were there weren't a lot of user reviews to weigh down the score before it came out. But it's
okay.
still like top 10. So it's still up there with like the classic video games of all time, that's not a small achievement at all.
Okay, are you ready?
Oh, Tony Hawk's Pro.
So number
Yes,
one.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 was like
Tony
yeah.
Hawk's
So number.
Pro Skater.
Okay, so all right. So number one is Legend of Zelda, then Tony Hawk Pro Skater
Ocarina
2,
of Time for the first one.
then Grand Theft 4, then Soul Calibur 1 for the Dreamcast, and then I'm gonna skip Grand Theft Auto again. Then there's Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 right after that. Then Grand Theft Auto 5 after Super Mario Galaxy. Then Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Breath of the Wild is in
No
like the
longer-
top 15.
yeah, it's not in the top
you got
10 anymore.
Perfect Dark. It's up there though.
Perfect Dark. Not surprised to see that on the top of the list.
It's a-
I'm not.
Halos.
Metroid
It's
Prime,
not
Halo's up there,
Yeah.
Half-Life 2, etc. Okay, so it's only been an hour for me. I'll preface that, but I truly think that there is some issues with the game that should not be overlooked in a way that it's because it has Nintendo goggles on. I think that people that dismiss performance on a game, it should not be dismissed. Like there is performance issues with this game that if it was any other game that didn't have Zelda on it, like think about it, they would be smacked for
Right.
it. Like the game has issues sometimes holding 30 frames per second.
Yeah, so supposedly the new patch fixes that,
It
right?
fixes, well, not all of it. Like it fixes it in tall grass and whatnot. But if you, and the game is good in what it does. It has its own issues, but I think that it gets away with a little bit of murder when it comes to like performance, because Nintendo has been known in all their
Right.
first party games that they've always said I would rather do performance over resolution. So they'll go with the 60 frames and go with the 720.
To be fair to them, I think they have always said they would prefer gameplay content over graphics quality.
I mean,
That's
can
specifically what they're going for.
So, but the performance is huge.
Right.
It's your first party game, and because I know why. It's because there was a Wii U Switch thing, because the new Mario is 60 frames.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Mario 60 frames and Zelda is not? It's because there was a issue where they had to Wii U's no more, and now we're going to here. And I mean, I'm not saying that take away it, make it an 8 out of 10, but maybe instead of a 97, it would be a 90
Right.
because of performance. Because it's no fun when you're playing, and I don't know if you guys have dealt with that, and I've seen videos, and have other friends that played it that in like some pretty intense graphically boss fights that it chugs, and they've died because of that.
I've never had
That's
that
never
issue.
happened to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it'll happen or the end. I don't know what the last boss fight is. I don't know when you fight Ganon that's going to be like, that it will chug you. But like I can speak for and not to sound like a Sony fanboy, but Horizon doesn't. It stays. Like Digital Foundry did the thing for both the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. It stays at 30.
Well, remember, Sony is basically a desktop. The PS4 Pro is desktop class hardware, and it's rendering essentially 1080p content for.
But still, like you can, if it's already 720 on my screen.
You have to remember the Switch. It's a mobile processor. It's
Yeah.
the NVIDIA Tegra 2.
But they could. I mean, if there was. But the point is, if you're telling me that from March to December, like that's the time from Zelda to Mario that they could have making 60 frames work.
And I think I talked about this a little bit last week. The reason why you have the scale of quality and performance is certain games look good because they limit what you can see as a character. So either through fog or small maps, there are fewer polygons to render. There's a rendering technology called tessellation. It breaks everything down into triangles, which helps the graphics card render smooth-looking objects very well.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you have fewer objects to render, or if you have a smaller map, or any sort of thing, if you have a shorter view distance, I think you have much higher quality. And the thing you're seeing in Zelda is you can get up on top of a mountain and you're seeing all the way across the map, and there's like persistent things in the background. Like, and it's not a static thing; it's dynamic too. Like you'll see later in the game, things will change in the environment, and they will permanently have changed.
So then why not just lock it at 30?
It is locked at 30.
It dips below 30.
Well, it dips below 30 if it has performance issues, right?
Well, that's okay.
Yeah. So what I'm willing to bet there is that they're struggling to balance an open world game, trying to play at a 720p resolution on essentially a mobile processor. It's probably, I haven't looked at the specs, but I'm willing to bet it's slower than like an iPhone 7. It's slower.
No, it's more powerful than an iPad and stuff like that.
Is it?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know.
We can look it up. Look it up right now.
We can do this.
I'll do it right now.
All right.
Well, you keep
then
talking.
Yeah.
I'll do it
he's,
on the phone.
He's going for it.
I'm going for it. Why not? We got time. Keep talking. You want the Switch specs, right?
Yeah, compare it's like the NVIDIA
Switch
Tegra
specs.
XT1 or whatever.
All I'm saying, it's still a great game, but like,
Yeah.
it's your first party game, and if it was any other game that didn't have Zelda on it, it would get slapped.
Yeah.
You know, it would get slapped. You know, like don't like Ukulele, the one that's coming out in April, has performance issues, and it's not, and it's basically the Banjo-Kazooie successor.
Oh, right.
And it's getting slapped with performance issues, and people are already being vocal about it, and it's gonna get hit within reviews. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It will get hit, and it's because it's not Zelda, it's not Nintendo.
What is it? So it says NVIDIA custom Tegra processor doesn't really help us, but it's I guarantee you it's not. If it is faster than like something like an iPhone 7 or a
It has to
Google Pixel, it's like 10% faster.
Right. But I mean, that's all I want. I want that to be something that, I mean,
It's thought of.
It's thought of.
Yeah.
We criticize other games for it. We make it a big deal that when
This
someone's
shouldn't be the exception.
yeah,
Yeah, I see
it
what you're
shouldn't be
saying.
an exception. It's still a great game. It still has its qualities, but performance, like this is the first time Nintendo chose not to do performance, and I think it's because of the transition. And the argument's like Mario can do it, and Mario's like not at all like
It's not open. Well, it's not.
It's pretty big. Super Mario Galaxy type games are big.
So overall, would you say game worth buying?
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, it's
Game worth
buying.
buying. Game worth solely purchasing the Switch.
Yes.
No.
I also
me, it
say
was.
yes. I say yes
I mean,
too.
for me, this is easily the best single player experience I have had since. I can't even remember the last time I had this much fun in a single player game. Like, you'd have to go back several years.
Yeah, that's a good game. Okay, interesting.
I wouldn't do it. I would wait until Mario comes out.
Do it.
I'd wait until Mario. There's not enough
Do
games
it.
on it. Unless this is the only thing
Do
you're
it.
ever going to play.
Do it.
After 100
It's
hours,
terrifying.
I would give it more time. I'd wait till Mario, buy it in the holiday when there's a more robust catalog. If you have someone that has a Wii U, borrow it. It's the same performance on both. And just do that. I would wait. Unless you really want to switch, you want to be an early adopter.
Yeah.
Wait until December when the catalog's a little more fleshed out and you have, Mario Kart, you got Splatoon 2, whatever they announce at E3, they're probably going to sprinkle some stuff. And then you have Mario in the fall.
They also have a ton of like indie games though that are coming out for Switch.
Yeah, coming out though.
There's 40 different indie titles that were announced.
Yeah, but then there's the issue that those games cost more on a Switch than they do on a PC,
Right.
which is going to be for another time because the cartridge costs a little too
Right.
much more to make.
That's fair. Speaking of games that we've played,
Nice segue, Sarah.
Sarah's so not happy that, I'm
was-
bashing Zelda.
No,
for like
no,
5
I-
minutes.
did you like that? I tried with that
That was
segue.
a fantastic segue, by the way.
Speaking of games that we've played, are you making fun of me?
No, I was patronizing you. That's what that was.
Should I leave now, or like I'm confused?
I think you're okay. I think,
Zelda-
I'm confused.
Zelda transition to Bigfoot. Go.
I did it.
That's it. We're talking about Bigfoot now, guys. Finding Bigfoot.
So we've played. You haven't. Have
I've
you?
watched.
You've watched. You've watched.
I've watched
a bit.
streamers play it. Yeah.
Not me.
I watched you and Aaron play the first night like a week ago.
Yeah.
And then I watched a couple other streamers play it. It's funny. It looks funny because the animations are all in.
Yeah.
It has potential to be cool. It gets really loud. I guess the jump scares are from being really loud. Like
Yeah.
someone just decided to not
Yeah, and it
tune the
so
volume.
to be clear, I think it just entered early access.
Shots fired. Are you shot? Are you
do you
sassing
mean?
me for the volume? No,
the in-game volume.
I thought you were talking about
like when there's those lightning cracks or something.
It's really loud.
loud.
It's really loud.
Right.
Yeah.
But we finished. It took us two tries. We finished on our second
How many
try.
hours?
Several hours, like 2 or 3 hours
Each game.
each game. Well, the first game
First
was
game
like
was
4
it took
hours.
forever.
Would you count the first game because you were figuring it out? Like, say your second time around, when you understood the mechanics and understood how the game worked, how long did it take you to do
Like
it?
2.5
2.5 hours,
2.5.
something like that. We could check the stream, but
It gets a little drawn out.
so the game mechanics aren't really super balanced right now. I think what drew us out the first time was we were running out of health packs and we were running out of ammo, so we were trying to play really conservatively, and it just dragged the game out to play conservatively.
As some background for anyone who hasn't seen this game, what it is kind of survival horror
yeah.
type game where you can go in for it with 1 to 3 people, basically try to hunt and find Bigfoot. There's like a premise where during the day you're usually kind of setting out traps, looking around. At night, that's when Bigfoot tends to get a little bit saucy.
Just a quick question: is Bigfoot an AI or person controlled?
AI.
Okay.
And it's pretty rudimentary, but like what I wanted to say is, it's very early access. I think it just came out of beta recently. The next patch they've announced, there's a huge rework for the entire game. They've rewritten how Bigfoot works. They said they've added like 40 animations and patterns to what he can do. He can now go to sleep also to regen health. He can his attacks are more diverse. So I think there's a lot of depth coming to the game that is just not done right now at all.
Yeah, the game is fun on like a basic level. Lots of jump scares, but it gets drawn out with.
Yeah, what do you mean by that? I was going to ask what drawn out.
You get to a point where it's just the process is repetitive. There's nothing new being introduced into the game. You have it figured out. You know what you need to do. You're not that worried about dying. You're just kind of stuck there waiting, and it's super fun.
So when you say stuck there waiting, is it like a day-night cycle or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he only comes out at night?
For the most part.
For the most, he's definitely active during the day, but I feel like his attacks are more common at night. I'm not sure how that mechanic works. It's definitely like there's definitely long periods of times where you're waiting around for him to show up. So like you can track him with a tracker dart, but that wears off. And if you have no idea where he is, the map's kind of big. You don't move very fast, so it's kind of like
You move very slow. And you
guess
cannot run in that game for some reason.
You can
You
run,
can
but
for
it-
like 2 seconds, and then for some reason it always messes up, and you just stop running.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the problem is there. There's a lot of bugs. But I mean, so the gameplay is fun. Did you think that the second time we played it, you weren't as scared?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I was still scared by the jump scares.
The
like
jump
lightning.
scares, the lightning is killer
But
in that game.
when Bigfoot would come, the second time I was like, I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's fight Bigfoot.
I was also like that towards the end of the first time we played. I think I even remember chanting like "Let's do this" and like sprinting after him. So it does wear off, especially as you get him down to pretty low health. You get a little bit.
So you both played the first time with 2 people and then 3 the second time.
Yeah.
Did you feel the difference?
difference.
Huge difference. And
Yeah.
what made the difference? Like what was the extra responsibility that one more body did?
Just more bullets hitting him.
It's the
more bullets.
50% increase in DPS by having 3 guns instead of 2. It made a world of difference because each individual attack we did 50% more damage on average, I would say.
How what's the word I want to use?
There were also 3 of us to spread out his swipes.
How easy is it for you to die?
Well, I mean,
Fairly easy, actually.
CG Batman just
And you left me first round. We lost Kate.
Yeah.
You lost me first round, and it was me just kind of going on, and then we lost Caleb as well. Because
So-
each swipe is about a third of your health, if not more.
Is there a visible health bar?
Yeah.
it's not quantifiable, so you kind of have to gauge. Okay, I can take about 3 swipes, but then if you fall down a cliff and die,
And there's ways to heal yourself?
there's health packs. You can carry 1 health pack. There's not very many of them in the game.
So I guess for people who don't know, how do you lure Bigfoot? Like, is there a mechanic where
Meat.
so meat?
Meat, and you put them on traps. You can hide the trap so it leaves. You can also
Shoot
kill
deer.
deer and leave them as a trap.
So is there, okay, so I guess I'll just ask questions because I've only seen stuff. So I've noticed that there's cameras. Okay. Do the cameras really do much? Like, I've seen other people notice that he's on camera, I'll say, since I don't know how many cameras there are, camera 1. Does that like something that is a camera you have to go to like a trailer, or is that something like kind of on your wrist that you can flip through them?
You have to be in the trailer which is kind of a lame, no, not lame. I mean, it's realistic, I guess, but like you tend to set up like cameras in very strategic points where he's going to walk through.
So you set them up.
Yeah, you have to set them up.
They're not
choose
preset.
you choose where they get to go. It's actually kind of a cool, fun game mechanic that you get to go out and like be like, I'm gonna put a camera here and put a camera.
Can he
here.
break the cameras?
No.
Okay. So there's cameras and then there's traps. When you say like, you said there's traps. So Sarah, there's just meat and like bear traps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that you have a X amount of both?
Yeah.
But they're
Everything in
reusable.
the game is limited except for meat. The only thing that's reusable is the traps, and everything in the game is limited. So that's another thing that's a little bit stressful. Is towards the end of the game, we were like, we have minimal ammo left.
Right.
Okay. For the meat, is there different grades of meat, or is it just
No,
all
all
blanket?
same.
I'm
There's
just
no
curious. I
primary
don't know.
meat.
I'm asking the hard-hitting journalistic questions right now. Like I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
it's all the same right now.
And you can pick up the meat and put it wherever you want.
Yes.
So you can like,
Cover your body.
you
in
can
it.
cover? Can you?
No, that would be
Oh my
awesome,
god!
no.
So you can
Like
just.
smear blood underneath your eyes.
Did you feel that there was like input lag or anything where you were kind of, I don't want to say discouraged, just it made you a little disinterested? You're like, God, this is taking too long to like pick up something or anything
No,
like that.
Not in terms of interacting.
Okay.
Like you're thinking about how it is in like
And like sometimes in Player Unknown where you open
Yeah.
a door and it doesn't open.
Oh, that drives me nuts.
Okay.
infuriating.
Is there in-game voice chat in that game?
I think there is. I think we turned it off because we were already on Discord.
So it's like proxy chat.
You have to have voice chat for them. There's
Well,
no.
you
there's
play
no
with
text
your
chat.
you play with your friends
Yeah.
too.
So is there any like preset like commands like you see in Counter-Strike that says he's over here and it will no? Okay. So it's really bare bones.
Very. I mean, it's an early access game. And I have this such mixed opinion about early access games. It's like on one hand, I'm glad we get to play these games early and then we get to experience what they're like and how they grow. On the other hand, it just encourages developers to just throw out this half-finished game and be like, that's good enough, right? People are already paying for it.
Yeah.
Is this their first game? Do you know if this is the developer's first game?
I don't. Who is developing the game?
To the internet.
To the internet?
To the internet we go.
You guys keep filling while I do this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So, I think it has a lot of promise. I think now that we've captured Bigfoot, I would like to put the game down, come back to it in.
When it's updated, yeah.
I think they said like May they were going to release the next patch. And I
And
want to play
there's
again.
then there's a new map.
Yeah, there's a new map. So right
I
now the
want the
map is
map.
Jasper, which is like kind of like a northern forest sort of like
This is their only game. Cyberlight is the developer. It's their only
I
game.
would say that's pretty well done for their first game ever.
Yeah, honestly.
And it's doing well. I feel like I've seen a lot of people play it.
The next map is somewhere with snow. What was it? Yukon or
Glacier.
Glacier National Park?
Yep. Gotcha.
I wonder why they did 3.
I think it's because of the TV show, right? It was 3 people on a TV show.
Oh,
right?
is
So,
this based on a show?
I don't know if it's based on. There's a TV show called Finding Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I would think they would have to have the rights to make
I
the game.
doubt it. No one's going to cover it Finding Bigfoot.
Dude,
Leave
I
us a
don't even
comment
know.
if you know. I don't know.
Leave us a comment. Leave us
When speaking
Suggestion.
of like really random like trademarked things, did you guys ever see that really bad? This is totally on tangent, really
Go
quick.
for it.
The earthquake movie, the San Andreas.
Oh, the one
Yes,
with The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah.
I did
There's
not
a
watch it, but I
point-
love
Rock
it.
and
There's
Alexander Daddario.
there's a point where they're like, let's go to the highest point in San Francisco, and they say something that wasn't Twin Peaks, and I was like, why is that a thing? And
Is
then
that the
I
highest point in
together
Twin Peaks?
in San Francisco. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to say it because of the show.
Stupid. Dumb.
Okay.
2017.
Ended. Sorry, just need to throw
No,
that
that's
out there.
great. 2017.
I mean, it's,
I from what I've seen, I can see it being kind of like a game I would get if it ever came out. It's a game I would get on sale, and I
Like a
would
3-pack,
I would
4-pack.
play it. Yeah, 3 or 4 pack. I'd play it a couple times, and then after you do it, you get Bigfoot. I feel like it can get a little stale
yeah.
Yep.
There-
100%.
because you're only playing against an AI, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming the AI is not that smart because I've seen them just run up to you and go, "Ah," and then just run away.
yeah.
Like,
So this is a game where you and your dudes and
You
your
and your
dudettes,
dudes.
and you want to play a game. So
Your
you buy the
bros.
4-pack. You all install the game. You play it once all the way
oh,
through.
you're not going to
and
buy
you-
a 4-pack.
Yeah, you are.
There's only 3 people that can play.
Well, in the next version though, you can have 4
Oh,
players,
Jesus Christ.
and that'll be right in time for the summer sale. Yeah.
Speaking of AI, I totally forgot about this.
I know. It's
Hello
coming.
Neighbor.
Yep, I knew that was
And
coming.
I know that you played it online, and this will just be real quick, Aaron, because unless you want to say more about Bigfoot.
No, I think we've talked that one.
And
But
the
by the
reason,
way, no spoilers for Hello Neighbor because I haven't watched Sarah's stream because I want to play it.
oh, that's fine. And the only topic I really want to ask Sarah is that when I heard you were going to play it,
I played.
and you played it,
I'm
and then
finished.
on the trailer it said something that the AI learns.
100%.
Is
yeah.
it actually learning, or is it super gimmicky? Does he actually like learn your patterns?
Yes.
Okay. From what I noticed is that you start on the other side of the street, and then I saw you running back and forth. And not to spoil it too much for Aaron,
Yeah.
is it as long as you don't get caught, you keep that same round going?
No, it's always going.
Even if you get caught?
it's still going.
So anything you did before you got caught stays the same, or you have to restart?
It's all so it's it's constantly learning. If you get caught, you end back up at your house and you start over for that like round, but he still has learned everything. It's not like he's forgotten. So the idea would be like, so if I'm going over and I'm trying to get into his front, I will always try to go like the same direction, and he figures that out really quick. So what he will usually do is lock that door, and I'll set bear traps in the area that I tend to run. Also, if I check the front door and the back door and I try to trick him to go into the back door, then I go to the front door, he learns that and sets more traps. He checks between those two super
Bear
often.
traps.
Yeah,
This guy's your neighbor.
I know. The funny thing is
This isn't
he'll
Bigfoot.
set the bear traps before he locks his door, which seems very backwards.
So how he's learned, I guess, is did it become eventually, as the player, you
Hard.
became predictable for you? Like I did this path one time. There's probably a chance something's going to be there. And was it 100% of the time or like, oh, there's something blocking my way? Or was it like 50% of the time?
Well,
so it's not
those
that
things you
predictable?
can move. It's not that it like that route now becomes impossible. It's just that it becomes harder. And there's not that many routes you really can take. At least when you're just looking at the very basic of how to get into his house. So it just makes it increasingly harder.
I noticed that you run really fast.
Yeah, you do run really fast.
Is he run the same speed as you?
He runs a little bit slower, but in his house, he's better at like jumping in through windows and stuff.
And has he broken through a window yet?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Multiple.
So this then comes with a question Aaron brought up, and he noticed in Bigfoot was that he stopped being afraid.
Nope, I was constantly on edge.
Okay.
And is that because of just you are already a person that gets scared easily, or it's that
You
much of a
literally-
different experience
It's
each
a
time?
very different experience. You just never know where he's gonna pop up.
So you don't
it's
hear
like
him.
So I think that
Very, very rarely. You can definitely hear footsteps, but a lot of the time, sometimes I would just open a door and he'd be directly in front of me, and that would never happen in Bigfoot. He
Yeah.
always lets out a bit of a roar before he comes after you.
Yeah.
It's like
It's a pattern.
It's a really predictable pattern. I would say Hello Neighbor is not like that. What I would say though is Hello Neighbor is super, super buggy still, like very buggy.
What happened?
It crashed on me 3 times, and a lot of times there was a few times where he glitched. So I was like running through the house and I hadn't seen him in a while, so I'd have to go find him and then let him catch me to get him unglitched.
So you could have finished the game then.
I wasn't able to because it
the
crashed on
game
me
isn't
3 times.
complete. You can't finish it.
I thought
I
you-
heard, right?
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about this most recent one.
From what I know right now is that you get to a certain point, and it's not necessarily the end of the game as the developers have intended, but it's like the end of the early access.
That's fair.
And it's how much?
It's
free,
It's
right?
free. It's
Yeah.
free.
It's free. It comes out summer 2017 according to
I'm
their Steam.
so excited.
Summer or December? Sorry,
Summer.
Sumar.
Sumar.
SUMM
Yes,
ER?
that is the pronunciation.
2017. That's spelling, Sarah.
That's how it works.
Okay, so overall you liked it.
I do like it. I think I was really close to finishing, which frustrates me slightly because it crashed so many times. But I'm going to give it another go.
An
another play.
interesting thing that, and I mean, Aaron can also chime in, is that you said you needed help to set it up. And I noticed when I went on the Steam page, you can't download it directly.
No.
Okay.
Let's ignore this
I'm
topic.
gonna
Let's
throw
just-
Sarah under the bus.
No, I would just.
Wait.
I'm just an idiot. Goodbye.
No, Sarah.
Well, okay, so first thing, Aaron,
Sarah's
you
new to
can't
computers.
download it straight from Steam, it looks like.
No, it's an early alpha game, so you can
Uh-huh.
only download it from their website. It's really common for games that are pre.
So it's just advertised on Steam, and then you have to go to the website.
right.
I'm so embarrassed.
Why?
I just didn't.
So okay, you know how like you download a game from a website and it comes in a zip folder.
Yeah.
So you just double click the zip folder without uncompressing it, and like double click the executable.
I know nothing about computers.
She's new to PC gaming.
That's fine.
I'm not trying to be really hard on you. I know.
Because the only reason why I bring it up, Sarah, is because when you mentioned
But
that.
when I did mention
Yeah.
it, other people agreed and said there are times where it like just won't run.
No, that's fine. The reason why I
That
asked
wasn't the case for me.
the reason why I asked is because after you mentioned that, I checked this Steam page and it wouldn't let me download it. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's because you have to do
it through their website.
something funky, and that's why I asked the question. So it just seems that it's not that complicated. It's just an uncompressed double click action.
I think they wanted a limited early alpha. They don't want that many people actually playing it.
I didn't know.
They want they want people to go play it and like discover bugs. But when you unleash the deluge of Steam users on a game,
Deluge. What a great word.
that's
an SAT word.
right
its own,
there.
its own
for sure.
beast.
Okay, so Hello Neighbor, do you know if this is a game, and I don't know, you can say you don't know. Is this a game that's going to have multiple scenarios? Is this a game that's only going to have one type of situation? They're going to be done with it, and then
I think it'll be one type of situation
Yeah,
and done.
one type of
That's how
situation.
I feel.
It's a single player game type thing
Yeah,
with one story.
one storyline.
okay. I mean that's kind of thank you. That's all. I was really curious about it because I dug into it a little bit. We're gonna have to play it.
You should play it. It's good.
I'm looking forward. I want to wait a little longer. I
I'll
want
wait.
to wait till it comes out this summer and play it. I want to play it, not a more finished project.
You got this.
I can't.
Words.
Too much wine for
Too much wine. It's
Words.
just crispy.
By the way, we didn't. What are we drinking? We should talk about what we're drinking.
Shoot.
Is it
Hold on.
Chardonnay?
Hold on.
He's
No, I got more than one bottle.
He's got a lot of bottles of this.
We keep nice. Your face is flashing. We keep a wine fridge in here just in case any emergencies go down.
I don't know if we keep it in here, but more so much as like Alex
It's
refused to
stuck
let
in
us
here.
move it. Here, let's do some advertising in this channel. Shout out, sponsor us.
Rum bar.
Oh my god, if we that would be amazing.
It's,
It'd be better if it was that that one beer. That one
It's
beer
a
was so good.
Carneros winery. It's a 2014 vintage Chardonnay.
2014. That's how you know it's good.
You want to get that just right in the corner of the shot?
Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. Wait, put the.
It's quite good. It's really good if you have a special somebody and you or friends, whatever you guys want to do. It's really nice on a warm day.
We're that special somebody.
We're Alex's special somebody.
We're the special somebody.
That's
I'm an
really
equal
special.
opportunist when it comes to special somebodies. It's good. No, it's very good. It's actually the same as the wine glasses, actually. Thank them. But don't drink if you're under 21.
And don't drink and drive.
Don't do that.
Stay safe, kids. Stay in
Stay
school.
safe. School is good. Maybe.
Let's talk about Destiny 2.
Destiny 2.
Okay.
What?
Destiny 2.
So raise your hand if you've played Destiny 1. Raise your hand.
Can I like not raise my hand?
Okay, so this is a disclaimer that so have you played it?
No.
Okay, so yeah, we keep our hands down. This is this disclaimer that neither of us have
Keep it
played
up.
Destiny.
Keep it up
Alex
the whole
has
time.
played it. Did you own Destiny? Did you like play it all the way through, or did you like play it once?
No. So I played vanilla for like the beginning of it, and then I dropped off because. So I played. Okay, so I got vanilla. I played it, got to max level, did the first raid, and then I didn't do any of the expansions 1 and 2
Okay.
because it was just too grindy for me, and
Right.
I was like, "You're trying to be an MMO, but you're not."
Okay.
So I had a lot of friends that kept playing with it. One of my best friends plays it, and did play it, and then he moved away from it. But I kind of saw everything that happened through there. I lived vicariously through him. And then Taken King came out, which was the expansion, and I got back into it again. They fixed a lot of stuff, made it less grindy. They reworked how the mechanics worked, and I got into that for a little bit. And then they decided to not put any content on it, and then their whole like base dropped. And then I didn't get Rise of Iron because I was studying. So I mean, a lot of people, Destiny is Bungie's like looter shooter, which has like WoW mechanics in it, where it's got
mechanics
raids.
also.
It's Borderland mechanics in the sense. Okay, the best way I say it's like Diablo because you can get the same gun multiple times and it'll have different what they call perks, and it's like trees on each one. And they have different grades, like in WoW, where if everyone knows what WoW is, World of Warcraft or Diablo, where it's like common, uncommon, which is green, rare is blue, and then there's epic, which is purple, which they call legendary, and then there is like unique ones that are just gold. So they did all that, and you keep going through, and they added raids, which is I think is the best part. I'm a PvE type of player, but then they have PvP, which is your typical like in Halo, like you have different like control points, Slayer, and then they have their like different things. So
It's a Bungie game, right? So
it's a Bungie game.
It has a Halo feel to it in the shooting.
in the shooting, yes, it does have a Halo feel, but they took like sliding and they added like skills. Like you have.
Is it boots
different
on the
abilities.
ground, or do you have a jetpack? Tough question.
It's boots on the ground, but you have like abilities. So, for example, the hunter, which is like in the trailer, the robot guy,
Yeah.
Cade 6, they have an ability to either triple jump or blink, which means that like they
Like
will
a tracer
disappear and
blink?
move somewhere else.
Right.
Warlocks,
Is that like a
Excuse me.
tracer blink or like a transport to
like a
somewhere
transport.
else? Okay.
It's like a transport. Like they just poof and they go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the hunter would have the most traditional sense in jumping. They just jump. Warlocks have a little bit more of a floaty, and then they also have a blink. And then Titans kind of have they kind of like soar, and then they don't have any blinking mechanics. My voice cracked. But so there's 3 classes, et cetera, et cetera. So I played that, and it's fun. It's 30 frames per second. And that just kind of sucks for me. It is 30 frames, which is like
So-
shooters should not be 30 frames.
Yeah, I agree. So I will be the biggest proponent of 60 FPS or more. I mean, I've got a 165 hertz monitor for a reason, but it's really important in shooters.
Yeah.
It's really important in things where you have to have that fast reaction time. I give over-the-shoulder type, third-person games a lot more slack.
Yeah.
But yeah, for shooters, I want to see 60 FPS, and I will bump down the resolution if I can't get it.
Yeah, which is great. So they locked it in because they had it on PS3 and Xbox 360, so they were locked in some constraints. But basically, the game is you find loot, you do raid stuff, you have like PvE aspects, you can do quests, there's a story. basically an MMO without the subscription, and it's without the cool MMO social functions to it. So that's basically it in like 10 minutes. Destiny 2, the trailer came out. You guys watched it.
Yeah.
You guys don't know much about what's going on. And to preface, you don't need to know anything that happened in Destiny 1 to do Destiny 2.
Well,
the only thing is those 3 characters. The guy that has the dude from The Wire, that the guy with the purple face.
Is that who that was?
Yeah. He's the guy. And he's also, have you seen John Wick?
Yes.
He is the
Wait, John Wick 1, not 2.
Yeah, John Wick 1. He's the guy at the hotel. He's the he's the guy.
Yeah, behind the counter. That's I forget his name.
Yeah. And then you have Nathan Fillion as Cade Six, and then the woman with the shaved head as the other one. Those are the only 3 characters because they're kind of like they're your guide depending on what class you pick. Like they're kind of your
carryovers from Destiny 1.
Yeah, they're like if you've played any game that's like an MMO, like if you start at level 1, those are your people you look up to. Like that's like they're the one that lead that class. Like they're the leaders.
So I'm excited this is coming out on PC.
Me too. Very
I'll
excited.
play it. Like I will definitely watching the trailer. Like granted, I was a little confused. I didn't know the characters yet, but it still I thought looked kind of funny. I like the trailer actually where he's the bar one where he's at the bar
preface
drinking.
where he's talking about the ramen place.
Yeah, I like that. So I like why would I not?
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Do we think it's gonna pull in a big new base of people?
Yes.
Okay,
It's going to be very popular.
People have been waiting for this to come. There's so many people I know that would play Destiny if it was on PC.
Yeah.
You guys watch? I mean,
so I made this comment to you.
Yeah, ask
when we
questions
watched
away.
it.
Yeah.
I watched the trailer and I watched it and I said, I don't understand this trailer. Because it wasn't a gameplay trailer; it's like a cinematic. And I felt like it was targeted towards people who had played Destiny 1.
Okay.
And that's not a criticism, but well, it is in sort of a way. So my main complaint is, as the PC gaming crowd that is about to join the Destiny world when Destiny 2 comes out for PC, I wanted to see at least a teaser trailer that would say, what is Destiny? I've honestly never watched any gameplay of Destiny. I've never looked into it.
I mean, with the technology now, I think everyone knows a little bit what Destiny is in terms of kind of, I mean, even you said yourself, like the gameplay is like very like Halo-ish and it's been out for 3 years. They don't need, I mean, come the gameplay trailer, May 18th, they will answer those questions for you. This is just kind of to tell you what's the story is.
And granted, like if they tease you enough with it, like we're obviously interested in it. We're talking about it.
Curiosity.
It's just you go to YouTube, type in Destiny, and there you go.
But it's okay. So like, there's like these people rallying troops up for some sort of battle.
So what's going on is that it's on Earth. Okay. So the whole Destiny 1, the only thing you do on Earth is what they call like the tower, which is your hub, and basically that. If you've seen it, there's that giant planet that hovers over Earth. They call that the Traveler, and it supposedly protects the last bastion of Earth. Obviously, now in Destiny 1, you're going to like Venus, Mars, Saturn eventually, and you kind of fight all these different monsters and different enemies. And this is the first time it's coming to Earth. It's if you've ever played Halo 2, I don't know if any of you played Halo 2. Did you play Halo 2?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Halo 1 was you were in space, and then Halo 2 was immediately on Earth because the Covenant came and they did all this stuff. It's the same thing that they're doing here. They're taking what happened in Halo 2 and they're putting it in Destiny 2, and they're just. And I'll wrap it up real quick. Okay. It's because they're doing this new thing. The leaks that started happening where they wanted to create like an open world situation where it's not all instanced in a way like Destiny 1 was. So if they make it all on Earth and it's a big fight, they can have you run around and do all this stuff kind of seamlessly. So the whole story is that you're being attacked by these group of people, like the big turtle things that you saw.
I haven't seen any gameplay videos.
No, you saw in the trailer. There's the hulking monsters. There's the only monsters that you see. So there's these monsters. They're called the Cabal, and they're from Mars. Like that's where they are. They're called the Cabal. They're from Mars, and that's what you see.
Is this the hulking monster pose?
Yeah, that's the robot pose. But that's all it is. That's for someone who's never played Destiny. You're being attacked on Earth, and that's basically all you need to know. Other than that, it doesn't matter. The rest doesn't matter. It looks like they're changing a lot of stuff.
Shameful admission, I only ever played Halo 1, but I did read all the Halo books.
That's good, though.
I do know the stories.
I like So that's all it is. I mean, you don't need to know. Like I told you, you don't need to know anything. I'm very curious. May 18th, what's going to happen in change of gameplay. I know that they're going to change a bunch of stuff. But I think that regardless of what happens, they're going to sell a buttload of copies.
Yep.
And I hope it's good. I'm going to play the beta, and then I'll make my decision then. The beta's in
Yep.
the summer. And I recommend everyone giving it a shot, even though they didn't like Destiny 1.
I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I'm doing it.
We're going to do a stream.
Are we streaming it?
We're
I'll
gonna
stream it.
How
We'll
many
do it.
players can play co-op?
I don't know how they're changing it. So originally what it was
Let's just
is
include Alex.
in console, it was you can walk around with 3 people in open world stuff. And then dungeons were 3 people, but raids were 6 people. And
Oh, that's
Hey, we have 3 people sitting at this table right here.
Dude, go teamwork.
teamwork.
And but
Teamwork
PvP
makes the
changed
dream work.
depending on the game mode. 6
Okay.
people, 4 people, 3
Okay.
people.
That makes sense.
So we don't know what's going to be like come release. We'll find out.
Yeah. So let's talk about co-op games. 'Cause it sounds like it has very strong like co-op content to it, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alex,
I want to be last
you want to be last?
because I'm going to take too much
you
time.
first. What is
What-
the best co-op game you've ever played? Boom.
Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying I don't know if I would say this is the best co-op game I've ever played, but I think this is the best game that used the co-op game
Excited.
mechanic, and this is not a surprise. That shouldn't be a surprise to any of you at home either. Portal 2.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was what
Not
you were
Portal
gonna
1.
say.
Portal 1.
Oh,
was
that's
separate.
right. It had no
sorry.
co-op Portal
So
1.
Portal 2 was an awesome game
me.
in that it was challenging. So it really tests your friendship and your ability to work as a team. It was the jokes are great. Valve does fantastic with their writing and the environment and the story in the background. I think that moving from Portal 1 as a single player game to Portal 2 as a co-op game was a huge, awesome change for the game series. Because I think that if it was just another puzzle game, people would have been like, oh, okay, well, we've already done this whole thing. Let's go back to Valve's history. So Half-Life 1 came out, and it wasn't the first game to be a first-person shooter, but it was kind of unique in the sense that it had all these puzzles that kind of had to be solved. And they were, not super challenging looking back, but they were certainly interesting puzzles. It wasn't just shooting that you were doing in Half-Life 1. Half-Life 2 upped that ante.
Pick
with
up that
these
can.
physics-based, pick up that can. Reference that. Yes. So have you seen that part of the game, by the way?
It's in the first 30 seconds.
It's great. So just real quick, the first 30 seconds of the game, you're on this train, you pull into the train station, you're deboarding the train, you're walking past this guard, and there's this can sitting on a trash can, and the guard just knocks the can up, and he's like, citizen, pick up that can.
And if you don't, he hits you with his baton.
Yeah, he just beats you.
So, but yeah, it has, like what Aaron said, it has the gravity gun.
Yeah, it has this physics mechanic they've added. So it's still a puzzle-based shooter, but now there's physics. And Half-Life 2 was really the first game to really implement physics like that very well.
Source
And now you see it in every game. Every game has a physics engine. It's important.
Yeah.
Portal 2, they revolutionized the game itself without changing what it was about by adding that second person. And it really changed the dynamic of the game. It was a lot of fun. I'm trying to remember. I think I played it with my friend Zach.
So how did it change the game? So people that don't know how it changed the game.
So if you're not familiar with, you guys are familiar with the basic concept of Portal.
Yeah.
Portal gun, one blue portal and an orange portal, and you go in and out between the two of them. You'd either be in the same area working together to solve a puzzle, or maybe you'd be separated by a barrier, and you would have to do things on your side that would affect how things happen on their side. It was very, very well done.
Was it? Correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been so long. I thought one of the robots had the blue and one had the orange, or you both had the same. I thought that.
No, you both had.
I thought one had one portal and the other one had the one that connected in the co-op.
Actually,
To the internet.
I
To
can't
the
recall
internet.
now. I'm pretty sure you both had your own portals.
I just want to make sure because I don't. It's been so long.
And he
Yeah.
said it was his favorite co-op game.
I played it. Just then I played it once when it came out. It was so good I didn't feel any need to replay it.
Such a jerk, Sarah.
But also remember I said a disclaimer. I didn't say it was necessarily the best co-op game ever. I think it's the best example of co-op done correctly.
Okay, that's fair.
Now, it's not just a single player game where your friend can play with you. It's a game that's fundamentally a co-op game.
You're right. It's separate colors.
Yeah.
So it's not one of the. That'd be intense.
Yeah. All right. So Alex and Sarah Rochambeau for
I'm
who goes
still
next.
last.
Wow. Look at that face. He knows. He knows he's last. All right, Sarah,
I'm
go.
last. I know I'm last.
I don't feel like I've played enough co-op games to have a strong opinion on
Okay.
this, to be entirely honest. So throwing it back to one of my favorite games of all time, which people always judge me for, is Rainbow Six Vegas.
It's a great game. I played Rainbow Six Vegas too.
I've played both.
We had a lot of good nights.
I would say Rainbow Six Vegas 2 does co-op a lot better than the first. I personally still feel that the first did live better than Rainbow Six Vegas 2. With Rainbow Six Vegas 2 and live, they tried too hard to be like Call of Duty with random spawn points,
Right.
and that's like not Tom Clancy games at all. It just like does not work with the style of them. So I hated that. And I personally liked playing live more than I liked playing co-op. So I'd say first, definitely better for live play, but second really did co-op correctly.
Yeah. And I think what is really cool that I liked about that game too was that these tactical shooters, they really like draw you into the game where you're like, okay, I want you to go around down the hallway and like sit there and like deploy your sentry thing here, and then like we're gonna count to 3 and then we're gonna storm in. Like you take this guy here, and like you, I can't remember. Did Vegas 2 have the ability to mark enemies? I think it did, right?
I think so.
Sequence shots or whatever they're called. It adds a whole new level of the gameplay that really draws you in.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I really liked Rainbow Six Siege, even though it was multiplayer.
Yeah, I do like Siege.
So do you think Siege might be coming up in the future? Maybe when Alex gets back from France?
Yeah.
100%.
I see
that
some
wasn't
Siege.
that wasn't really a question.
I
We know
see
that's
some-
happening.
I'm not going to France.
They're not this Alex.
There's another Alex.
Another Alex. My roommate, he's in France right now.
You're never going to France ever?
I've been to France before.
I've never been to France.
What?
Okay, you
know
look at
it.
me judgmental, and Aaron has never been. You roll your eyes at me, like, oh, you're
You said you were
bougie.
never going ever. I said I'm not going to France.
I'm not going to France. Just because you said Alex. I've been to Paris and Nice.
I've been to both
I
those
believe it's
places as
pronounced
well.
I like Nice a lot better than Paris.
Very
I don't know
different
how it's
cities.
Nice is by the water, and Paris is not.
It's like a
Is
beach
it
town.
nice?
Yeah,
Is Nice
It's
nice?
bougie.
it's like side tangent. Like Nice was some of the best seafood I've ever had, and it was this plate that was on rice, and it just had clams and oysters. And to this day, this was like probably 15 years ago, I've never found anything that tasted as good as that. And
Alex,
I've had better seafood in Spain.
I just want to say
I've never been
that
to Spain.
next
Well.
time I go to Eastern Shore of Virginia for work, I'm opening this invitation to either of you guys or any one of my friends. You guys should come. That place has fantastic seafood.
Okay.
They're famous for these
I'm
the
in.
salty
I'll do it.
Chincoteague oysters.
Down.
They're like pre-salty. I don't know.
Down.
Pre-salty.
They're pre-salted. They're really
They're pre-salty.
good.
Down.
And it's cheap because it's like this. We're on this really sorry.
Oh,
We love
okay.
seafood. Everyone loves seafood, right?
So the moment we've all been waiting for, since he insisted that he had to be last.
Seafood. The best
Favorite? Best co-op game.
Okay.
I see.
Let me tell a
Comic
story.
I see.
Oh, sweet Lord,
Let me
help
tell a
us.
story.
Oh,
All right, I was
I'm not ready
I was
for this.
15 years
Fine.
old.
Strap yourselves in, boys.
I was 15 years old. It was
I'm not
2004.
ready.
I was in psychology class in high school. And I was in the second row on the far left. Okay. My friend came in late and he
Wait.
sat down.
What were you wearing?
What
I was
were you
wearing Vans that I would draw on
What-
because I was really cool.
How long was your hair? Was it long?
My hair was
This is
like
important.
long. It
was
was
long.
like terrible. It was like a mop top type thing. It was like the skater haircut.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Aaron he knows the questions.
We
he has
had
the hard-hitting
that. I
questions.
think every male had that phase where they're like, I want to be a skater,
I had hair
and
down
then
to,
Dude, my hair looked like
here
that.
At one point.
nice. So I sat there, and my buddy comes in, and he turns and goes, "Are you going to buy World of Warcraft?" And I said, "No, that's stupid."
Oh no, Alex.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
You
And
tell
then
the story. I have a story thought.
Okay, see? And then the game hadn't come out yet. Like, I've only heard of it because when I had Warcraft 3, at the back of the strategy guide, it said World of Warcraft coming soon. I'm like, oh, I don't know what this is. I've never played an MMO in my life. So then, like a group of us, we got it. And that is the best co-op game / game I've ever played in my life. And I was there when I played vanilla, and I had never played an MMO of any type. I never played EverQuest. I only played Final Fantasy XI for a little bit, but there was limitations in it, and I wasn't so ingrained in the lore. But I'm huge into Warcraft and whatnot, and playing that game was like I was like one of those dudes that just made a night elf because I really liked them back in the day, and that game was probably my best social experience ever playing a video game in my life. I found the goodness of people and how crappy the internet really is. But the whole idea is that I was playing with friends for the first time in a game that wasn't bound to a console. And there was the idea that I was on a PC and I had like Ventrilo on the other screen, or not the other screen. We all had only one monitor back then, but I had Ventrilo, and
Ventrilo,
you
that's
felt like more
old school.
freedom. And you got online And it wasn't just to play the game; it was to socialize and like do random stuff.
Your
and
clan
I've never
or guild was like your community, right?
Yeah.
right. And like when you go to school, you come home and you felt excited to just do buckets of hours. And sometimes you'd just be jumping around a main city, back and forth, just jumping while talking to people. And then you'd go do a dungeon, or you'd go do a quest, or you'd spend one of those nights. Because I couldn't play video games during the week, I could only play on the weekend back in the day. So I would be in a guild that did raids on Friday night. And what it was back in the day, for some people maybe in chat that know, or you guys may not know, is that it was 40 people in a raid, and you'd spend like hours in there. And to get the idea of getting 40 people in one place at one time is something that is never been replicated in any game, and even Warcraft itself had walked away from it.
Eve Online.
Yeah, but
1,600 plus.
that's fine. But
I was in.
Eve
What
Online,
Penguin, R.I.P.
Eve Online is an Excel spreadsheet simulator.
It is.
Can we take a moment of silence for Club Penguin?
It's dead.
1 minute of silence starting now. Okay, that was a minute.
That's a minute.
That's how minutes work.
That's all it gets. That's all Disney gets. But no, it was the most fun I've had. I still have friends that I met when I was 15 years old that I still talk to now at 27 that played that game, and we've gone through iterations of different expansions. I haven't done all of them. Some of the best times in college, when all my friends were in different universities, we got the third expansion, Wrath of the Lich King. And since we were all in either different states or in different parts of California, that was a time for us to connect and hang out. And that it's not been replicated in any other game. And it's just because you have that idea that it's not like you're playing like Halo when I used to play. It's like you get into a game, you get out. When you're in the game, you're in the game. It's
right.
And that's something that has never been replicated for me. And it's still been around for 10 years. It's gone through its ups and downs. I mean, it had a subscription base bigger than some small countries.
Yes.
I recommend that anybody who's never played it, just to try it. There's a free trial and you can do it. You don't have to keep going. And the reason is if someone has never played, I had someone come up to me and go, I've never played the game before in my life. And I'm like, you know what? I really wish I could start fresh. Because that experience of playing that game for never knowing what's going on. I remember it was a time where there was no like a lot of FAQs. You were in that and you figured stuff out by just running around. You ran into a monster that was too strong, or you ran into another player and you got just beat up because you had no idea what was going on.
Right.
And that's an experience that most games can't replicate, is the idea that it's just a whole new world. And don't you dare close your eyes when you play that game.
Right. So, Alex, I want to tell a quick story. You mentioned college.
No. Oh, no. Here
So,
it goes.
for those of you that don't know, me and Alex, that Alex right there.
Me, Alex.
That Alex.
It's me.
Not this Alex.
This
is Paul.
This is Paul. This is Paul.
We were roommates in college,
Okay,
but before we were
meet
roommates,
each other?
the way we actually met, I don't think this was the first time we actually like saw each other, but the first time we actually hung out one-on-one. We were in a class together, Math 133A differential equations.
Kind of sucked at that class.
That was a really rough class.
That was the first time I would have considered sleeping with a teacher to pass class.
That would have been rough, Alex. That would have been really rough.
I swear to God, it was my worst class.
No names will be named, but that would have been a rough.
It would have been a rough
activity.
But I would have to do it. I didn't want to take that class again.
So we were frantic about this class. It was really hard. I decided I needed help. I went over to Alex's dorm to study. And I was like, yo, dude, can I come over and like you can help me through some of these problems? And then he was like, yeah, dude, come over. Let's study. Mm-hmm. So I come over to Alex's dorm room and I go into his room and he is on his computer. You were like leading a raid. Yep. He wasn't just like raiding. He was the raid leader in WoW at that moment raiding. He's like, all right, let's study. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So we sat there and I would ask him questions and he'd be like waiting, like, hold up. He's like playing the game. He's like, all right.
He's doing his bounce while he plays the game. Because
I had such a crappy laptop. I had to sometimes look at the ground in the game so that my computer wouldn't freak out because of all the stuff. It was great.
And that's how they met.
That's
and
how
it's
we
been
first hung out.
It's been true love
And
ever
then
since.
we became roommates, lived together for 3 years.
I still
And now
want.
we're married.
We're married.
Happily married with
Happily
3 children.
3. God bless them.
They can't
They're going to
cross that
college
finger.
soon, I think.
That'll be a big step for you
Yeah,
guys.
we got to
Larry,
figure out.
Tyler,
We got to figure out
and
who's
John.
going.
Are you gonna have empty nest syndrome?
No, I think we can just walk around naked. It'll be nice again.
The finer things in life.
Yeah, we just got to
Appreciate
figure
it.
out who gets to go to college. We adopted 3. We adopted triplets. So
Well, let's be real.
Just Rochambeau it out, man.
Tyler is not getting into any good schools, so we don't have to worry about him.
No. I think Janice will do okay.
My money's on Janice. All right, guys. It's been real.
It's been real. Let's do an outro this time. How do we do
Take
an
it
outro?
away, Alex.
Okay.
Alex,
Pressure's on.
no pressure.
Everyone's going
On
to judge
spot.
you if it's bad.
Thanks, guys. We got some more people in chat this week. We really appreciate that. Thanks for all the people that follow Sarah at the Discord Shales. You guys have been really nice and like supporting this idea that we're doing.
Yep.
Once a week. We really appreciate that, and showing up every day for Sarah's streams and welcoming Aaron and I to those game sessions. We really appreciate that. If you like what you saw, please like and share. We're gonna keep trying to make the production better. We're gonna keep trying to do new ideas for it and try to come up with a name eventually for this. We're still in work in progress.
So
But
if you do nothing else, make sure to, I believe the phrase is to smash that motherfucking like button.
yeah, or gently caress it.
Or gently, no, I mean, this channel, we're smashing it, guys.
We're
Smash
smashing.
that like button. I want you guys to hit subscribe and hit, not just subscribe, but go into that little bell, click the notification thing. And that way, every time we go live, you'll instantly be like annoyed. And then you're like, oh, like these guys again. Screw these guys. I'm going to delete this from my phone.
A couple things that we saw when we were in Sarah's chat. I know that you guys want to see kind of Sarah play some board games. We are setting up the
Board
studio.
games?
Yeah, we're setting up
I
this.
love board games. Yes, 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 yes. No one told me this. I'm sorry.
I told you this.
Surprise.
I told you this. See, this is how she just doesn't give us.
Okay,
any
we'll do
attention.
board games. Yay.
So we're
Jesus Christ, I can't.
the studio right now. We're finishing up. We got a new table. We got some stools.
Yeah,
and
this new table, guys. Did you notice?
it's shaking right now. Stop
We got
shaking
new
it.
chairs. Check out this chair. Can you see
So-
the chair? It's new.
We only have like one setup right now for a camera, so we're gonna try to figure out what we can do for board games, and we'll be putting some Let's Plays on the channel. I think the first one won't be till like late in April when Outlast 2 comes out. That's gonna be a fun one.
Yes.
It's a horror game.
Yeah.
Nice.
Other than that, Sarah, you haven't said anything. You're the one that's helped this process a lot. So go, floor's yours.
It's been real, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
We have to have like a outro like phrase that we say like.
Well, first I'm going to say bye, Jacko, and Mark, and Kyle, and Dome,
And other Kyle.
and Captain Slick,
There's like my Kyle, and then there's like
and Kyle Forbes,
like your
and Kudal.
Kyle.
Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you. I think we'll have a show next week. We'll talk about it behind the scenes and we'll figure it out. If not, we will let Discord know. Sarah will tweet it. I put up a Twitter. Do you have a Twitter yet, Aaron?
I have a Twitter. I had to go and clean it out. It was,
Okay,
like,
so what we'll
embarrassing.
do is
There's all
we'll
porn on it.
We'll put the Twitter in the video description.
Yeah, and guys, if you have any comments or feedbacks or suggestions, feel free. If you know me, like just like text me so that it's like private. I don't have to like
Do that
have it
Twitter
in public.
DM.
Slide into my
Slide
DMs.
in my
Slide
DM.
into his
Or
DMs.
just leave a comment on this video. Just let
Yeah.
us know. We need to. This
Yeah.
is like a community thing.
No comments too harsh. We'll look at what we can do to make it better. It's been a passion project of ours, and now that it's starting, we'll do the best to serve y'all.
Yeah, just kind of want to make it feel like we're hanging out with you guys, talking about video games
And girls.
I use guys as a gender neutral term.
I forgot 2017.
Sorry, but yeah. All right.
All right,
Good night.
guys. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Have a good Saturday.
Good
Bye
night.
bye.
I don't even know how
Good
to-
evening. It's still daytime.
Yeah.
Right.